Welcome aboard the Culture Signal. My name is Vince. Let's see what we find out there today.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a great day. Has it felt to you guys like ever since Endgame came out, Marvel has no idea what they're doing? Well, if so, you are not alone. I know that's how I feel. That's how my wife and my friends feel. And apparently, that's also how Matt McGloin over at Cosmic Book News feels. In a new article titled, Marvel Studios Clueless Reveals MCU Author. The author of the MCU Reign of the Marvel Studios unauthorized tell-all reveals that Marvel Studios is clueless when it comes to what fans want. In the book, Joanna Robinson writes that Marvel Studios expected Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania to be a big hit.
That was the plan.
Not a great plan.
Marvel Studios is aware of what's happening to their brand, she wrote. My understanding, having talked to some people, is that Quantumania really shook them. And I'm sure Secret Invasion shook them further, but Quantumania really shook them because they felt like they had something good. Because they all internally thought, everyone's gonna love this. If that's true, they're fucking idiots. But I can see them thinking that because they are completely disconnected.
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
So once Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania bombed, she says it was when Marvel realized they were not putting out content that fans wanted and realized they were not connected to the fan base anymore. And then they put it out and people didn't. And then they were like, oh no, our internal barometer is not attuned with what people want anymore. With Quantumania, they were like, we put out a banger. And that's not how a lot of people felt, she said. Yeah, that movie was goofy as shit. And it was horrible.
Darren?
Surprised to see me?
I would actually argue that Marvel should have known they weren't putting out content fans wanted much earlier than the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It all started with Captain Marvel. As I went over 4 years ago, it started with Captain Marvel, but perhaps Captain Marvel making $1 billion at the box office put the blinders on. If that's the case, I would then question why the sequel doesn't have Captain Marvel in the title, and why Kevin Feige brought in 2 actors and characters to star alongside the controversial Brie Larson as Carol Danvers. Heck, Monica Rambeau is even called Captain Rambeau in The Marvels. Can't wait for that to come out in order to do my review, so that I can then go and watch Gary from Nerdrotic's review, because that is going to be a good one. But I don't want to watch it before I put my own out, because I try not to watch other reviews before I give my opinion, so my opinion isn't tainted by the opinion of others. Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals all tank. From there, Black Widow would bomb, but they'd probably chalk it up to COVID. I'm also guessing they may have used COVID as an excuse for both Shang-Chi and the Eternals bombing. Oh, and speaking of reviews, I will get to my review of Loki Episode 2. It's just... ugh. If you've seen it, you know. If you haven't, you aren't missing anything. But, we'll see. We'll see if Loki is going to be the thing that saves Marvel like they think it will. Anyways, let's keep reading. Sony Spider-Man is a big hit. A month later, Spider-Man No Way Home would be released and it would go on to make nearly $2 billion. The COVID excuse disappeared. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness disappoints. Following No Way Home, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness gets released. However, both Elizabeth Olsen and the director of the first flick, Scott Derrickson, said the sequel was a big mess. It's also known Benedict Cumberbatch and Doctor Strange were cut from WandaVision, with the only reason being that they were white dudes. Multiverse of Madness was also rewritten for the same reason. Yeah, I remember them saying that they didn't want a white man to come in and tell Wanda how to fix things. So that's the reason why the Sorcerer Supreme, the guy who's the best at magic, couldn't come in and save the witch who was using magic. But anyways, so we see they threw going with a quality story out the door in favor of going the diverse route. Multiverse of Madness did not hit $1 billion. Thor: Love and Thunder would soon become Marvel's next blunder. The movie is simply atrocious and way too goofy. It's thought the movie doing so bad is why Taika Waititi might lose Star Wars and never return to Marvel again. Guess they didn't learn from Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh no! Anyway...
The only reason I'm glad I wasn't making videos at the time this came out was that I did not have to watch Thor: Love and Thunder, because I saw the trailers and I don't think I could have brought myself to watch that thing. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever would follow and be another huge disappointment. Feige's bright idea, instead of recasting, was to pass the mantle to Shuri, change Namor into a Mexican, and force Ironheart into the flick. Meanwhile, the Marvel shows are getting released on Disney+. Again with WandaVision, fans were left wondering where their Avengers were when their fellow assembler was having a meltdown. Sorry, no dudes allowed. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier introduced Anthony Mackie as a replacement for Chris Evans as Captain America that no one asked for and no one wanted and wants. Don't give it to the white dude with powers. Makes sense. Yeah, I get they were trying to go with the comic book route where in the mid-2000s they gave Falcon the mantle of Captain America, and that run bombed also. So I don't know why they thought it would do better as a show. Loki Season 1 would go on to be the most watched MCU show on Disney+. Tom Hiddleston was a fan favorite. The series introduced a cool villain, the next big bad of the MCU. Owen Wilson debuted as Mobius, quickly becoming another fan favorite. Season 1 was about the multiverse featuring variants of Loki. For the most part, fans loved it. I wouldn't say I loved it. I would say it's better than most of the movies. I saw Quantumania last week, and oh my god, that was bad. But Loki was better than that, at least, and better than the Star Wars crap that Disney's been putting out. So, and Owen Wilson again as Mobius, like I said in my review of, or not my review, but when I was talking about the first season, that he is the only part of the show that I thought was worth, like, not the only part, but he was one of the few bright spots in that show. Next up would be Hawkeye, which left Jeremy Renner stuck in a Christmas tree while his replacement shot an arrow to shoot him down. That actually happened. Good luck. Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac made his way into the MCU in a pretty cool show. The series was original and a unique take on the MCU. Good stuff. Where's Season 2? So for keeping track, since the release of Captain Marvel, there's only been 2 cool projects released in 2 years' time. Loki and Moon Knight. I'm not counting Spidey. He's with Sony. And I agree, unless it's a Avengers film or something, Marvel really doesn't have anything to do with it when it comes to Spider-Man. What would follow would be an epic disaster with Ms. Marvel, the least-watched Marvel series on Disney+, and the goofy-ass She-Hulk, which brought in the goofy-ass Smart Hulk, and the goofy-ass Daredevil, and the goofy-ass Scar. Regarding the latter, which was part of the epic story in the comics, it's known that Feige decided against going with the awesome comic book look of Scar in favor of the man bun. So there is 3 years of garbage put out by Marvel, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania gets released, which is a complete disaster. The flick is another goofy-ass MCU project. MODOK is an embarrassing joke, the special effects are a joke, the dialogue is a joke, and the end is a complete joke. And Marvel thought this was going to be a big success. Due to all the aforementioned sucking so bad, the fans didn't turn out for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 right away. It followed Quantumania, and it opened to a lot less than Volume 2. Fans were waiting for word of mouth to see if Volume 3 was any good. James Gunn provided a fun movie, arguably better than Volume 2, and while there is goofiness, fans came to expect that from the Guardians. I said this before, I think the MCU going goofy took away from the Guardians being so special, because the entire MCU had gone goofy. Yeah, I feel like once once the second Guardians came out, right after that, then everything, the goofiness started leaching out into everything way more. Like they always had their one-liners in the Marvel movies, but they weren't as consistent. They could let dramatic scenes rest before, and then after Guardians 2, I feel like they never let anything rest. Some big dramatic scene will happen, and within 20 seconds, someone's cracking a joke. The not so secret that sucked. As noted above, Secret Invasion was released and fans despised it. It has since been revealed that not only did Secret Invasion have major problems, but so did Eternals. Now Daredevil Born Again also has major problems, like I first said, and is getting an overhaul. We can also add that Marvel also had major problems with the VFX workers, so much so that the VFX workers have unionized as a result. And don't forget, Marvel executive Victoria Alonso, who ran MCU VFX, was shit-canned by Disney. Maybe somebody should question Kevin Feige. Seems to me that James Gunn left, the Russos left, Jon Favreau left, and now Kevin Feige is completely clueless about how to run Marvel Studios. And the only thing he has a clue about is how to run MCU into the ground. Where is Jeff Loeb? Up next is The Marvels, which is reported to have 1/3 of the pre-sales of Guardians 3 and less ticket sales than DC's The Flash, which mega-bombed. So, like I said, clearly, it seems that Marvel has no idea what they're doing. I don't think Kevin Feige ever had any idea what he was doing. He always claimed to have been a nerd, but then always did the un-nerd thing. If you ask me, he claimed to have been a fan. He claimed to grow up as a fan, and yet made decisions that the fans all seem to hate. That seem to drive the franchise into the ground. Back at the beginning, he wasn't solely in charge back when we had like Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, like everything through the first Avengers film, I believe. It wasn't until after the first Avengers, if I'm remembering correctly, when he really started getting more power and getting the ability to start overriding directors and producers and stuff. Before then, yeah, he had say and he had input, but he wasn't the sole power, you know. And he's just made a lot of decisions that have, like the article said, driven the MCU into the ground. The way they've dealt with Thor, I mean, Ragnarok was goofy, but at following Thor 1 and Thor Dark World, it was a breath of fresh air. It was nice, it was refreshing, but it's kind of like having a sweet, you know, you can't have dessert all the time. You get sick. And that's what's happening to Marvel is, you know, they saw that, oh, people like the goofy Thor in that one movie, so let's stick with that. Let's not let him evolve. Or let's not even not let him evolve, but let's force him to evolve, I guess is the right way to put it, into this goofy ass fucking ditzy character that isn't Thor, that isn't cool, and who's always just like playing second fiddle to other characters. In Ragnarok, second fiddle to Loki, to Hulk, and to Valkyrie. Like, all of them were more important than he was in the end. He like, and I'm sure it's how it was in Love and Thunder. I didn't watch it. I had no intentions of watching it when I saw the very poor CGI of Natalie Portman in the trailers.
Oh, spoke too soon.
With her, you know, clearly her head CGI'd onto some big, bulky other woman because Natalie Portman's arms are not that size. And, you know, and that's just one example of what Kevin Feige has done. And I don't think there's really any hope of saving Marvel because, from, you know, the stories you always hear, that the reason they're always having to change directors is because the directors don't get to direct. The directors are cast. They find somebody with a name and they say, hey, here's the movie you're going to make. And if the director tries to do anything creative, they say, no, this is the movie you're going to make. And if the director tries again, the director gets fired and they find someone else. Someone else who just wants to attach their name to the Marvel brand to make money. But now the Marvel brand is sinking, so that strategy is not going to work anymore. So they're going to actually hire somebody who can direct a film and who gets to direct a film. And hopefully they hire somebody who is a fan. You know, kind of... maybe they'll get lucky. Maybe they'll do it on purpose. Who knows? You know, if they can do it twice in a row, then they're not a fluke. But, you know, they haven't even done it once. They haven't done it once since Endgame came out. But, you know, we'll see what they do. We'll see. Maybe things change going forward. I know that all their hopes are pinned on Loki right now. And even if they completely shift course right this second, we wouldn't see anything from that change till 2025, 2026 at the earliest. And by then, the brand could be damaged so badly that there is no recovering. So, you know, they're going to have to sleep in the bed they made, I guess. But let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe they're doing great. Maybe you think they're doing great. Maybe you think, you know, it's just been a little stumble and they're going to pick right back up and Loki's doing great. Maybe you love Loki and you think it's saving. It is what the MCU needs to save it. And I'm just some idiot giving a bad opinion. But tell me what you think down in the comments, and I will talk to you guys next time.
Thanks for stopping by. If you like this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on X at CultureSailor1. I'll see you next time, and as always, fair winds and following seas.